Hey guys, my name is Alex. In this tutorial I'm going to try to explain to you the techniques how you can achieve textures in ZBrush, something like this, or something like this, or something like this. So these are all seamless textures created in ZBrush and then exported into Photoshop and painted there with using the mask that we also created in ZBrush. So this can be used for rock formations, for rock texture, wall textures, basically any texture that you desire. So when we open ZBrush, we have to go first to Document and turn off Pro and set a square for the canvas. I'm going to use 1024 by 1024. Click on resize and then I'm going to zoom out so we can see it here, and then here under tools we are going to use plane 3D. Draw it out holding shift to snap it, pressing T on the keyboard to go to edit mode and make a polymesh 3D out of it. Now we can still see these lines that I don't want, so I'm going to zoom out a little bit and then just press F on the keyboard to center the selected subtool in your view. So now we go to geometry and turn off smooth and divide a couple of times, let's say 5. We can check just with a simple brush how the deformation will work. So this looks good, and now we are going to start sculpting. I normally use brushes like clay buildup, trim dynamic, edge polish, dynamic standard and layer brush. So I'm going to just show the techniques because the process of creating such texture can take some time, and I just want to make sure you get the techniques that are needed for creation process. So I'm going to press B on the keyboard to go to brush selection mode and C and B. So I have clay buildup selected, and now the main thing is that we should always when we create seamless textures, we should make sure when we are at the border we should have our symmetry turned on. So for example, I'm going to turn the symmetry on by pressing the X on the keyboard, and I have on X-axis symmetry turned on, and if I deform the plane here, come on, where are you? You can see it gets from one edge to another. You can just turn off X symmetry by pressing X on the keyboard, and then not quickly, but immediately make some adjustments to these parts, because afterwards it would look strange if these parts would be identical. Because if you want to use tileable texture, you should only get the transition from this side to this side, and everything else is obsolete. So the same is for the y-axis. You just have to turn on y-axis and just draw something out. And when you're done, just press X on the keyboard and continue sculpting some additional deformations. And you can, I'm using clay buildup and pressing S on the keyboard. I'm going to resize it a little bit, and I'm just going to make some random shapes, just to make sure we have something that the ZBrush can make the masks out of it when we apply different materials, which we are going to show at the end. So I just created, just pressing Alt on the keyboard, I'm going to subtract, and if I use Z add, I'm adding additional lines to the object. To the subtool, I'm going to press X on the keyboard again to turn on symmetry, and I'm going to just fill in these edges. So if sometimes you just accidentally turn around this, you just hold Shift so it snaps to the front view, and just press F to snap it to the whole view. Turn off symmetry, and just pressing Shift, I am smoothing out these lines that were left behind when we used the clay build-up tool. So I would like to show you the usage of layer brush. So B, L, A. I then use spray and a different alpha, which is more soft, and then just resize it and make some additional elements on the subtool. So you just play around with the settings of C intensity, with the size of the brush, and pressing Alt on the keyboard will subtract from the subtool. I normally go up a little bit and then just slightly tap on my with the pen, so I get some random deformations. Now you could go to I have here stroke. Under modifiers, no modifiers here, you can set the placements, which because we are using spray, so it's going to place, let me just show you. You can see these bulges are far apart, and if we turn this down to, let's say, 0.2, they're going to be really close together. So this is to be played, this settings is really useful, just play around with it. And again, if you want to create some additional elements on the edge, just press X on the keyboard to make some arrangements on the border, but I wouldn't advise it, because it's going to look really identical at the end. So you have to go back and just make some adjustments to it with smoothing. Now I would like to show you what next. I don't know. Well, we could go back to clay build-up, and we're going to use it here just for the purpose of showing what the trim dynamic brush can do for your design. So I'm going to press B, T and D as on the keyboard to lower the size of it, and just because we are chipping off from these edges, and you can see it creates a really nice looking rock formation, rock looking edges. So let me show this here. Just smooth it out a little bit, and then you can see it chips away and it looks more like a rock. So this is it, and you can also edge polish, which will do a similar job than trim dynamic, but just play around with these brushes to get some random results, sharper results. And okay, now we are going to leave it as it is. You can play around and make some adjustments to the scene, it's up to you, but the main techniques have been shown. And now I'm going to export this to Photoshop, and I'm not going to poly paint it here. You could go in and poly paint it and then export it, but I like to poly paint it in Photoshop because I'm just more used to it, and the layers really offer some different some additional adjustments to the end result. So first of all, I'm going to use a basic material on it, and then I'm going to go to material. You can find it up here. I already have it here on the side, and I'm going to open up modifiers, and I'm going to crank up the specular to about 20 and leave everything as it is for now. Then go to document and Zeppelin, just click on it, and first it's going to ask you this question, and just click on enable polygon colorize, and you can set the target app. I already have Photoshop assigned to it, and I'm going to just click drop on. Then the Photoshop pops up, and these three layers are being created. I just normally select all of them by holding Shift and then Control E on the keyboard to merge them together. I create a new document that is the same size as the size of the canvas in ZBrush, so 1024 by 1024, and then just with the move tool I just click and drag to the newly created document, holding Shift on the keyboard and letting go the mouse button, and it is centered in the new canvas. So just rename it, yeah, it's light, and then just go back to ZBrush, and it's going to ask you if you want to change, recheck or unchange, and I'm going to use OK unchange. And now I'm going to use basic material again still, and set specularity to 12, and I'm going to go down to cavity intensity and set it to 20, and under render I'm going to turn on best render, back to render, and make sure you turn off shadows before you select best render. Up here we're going to set specularity to 0, diffuse to 0, and ambient to 100. I just had to set the cavity colorize to 1. Come on. And all the indentions are being shown like this, and if we Zeppelin it to Photoshop, we can use this. You just need to check update, and we can use this holding Shift Control E and move it to the previous document, and we can use this to make a mask of these indentions and then just use it to color it. Back to ZBrush, we just have to turn on best again and cavity -20, and the peaks of the valleys were masked before, now the peaks are being masked or shown as masked. Just do the same, update, bam, Control E, V on the keyboard, holding shift and dropping it like this. Back to ZBrush, OK, unchanged. And now we're going to use normal RGB and document Zeppelin, and we exported the normal map. It's not a perfect normal map, but it will do. Pull it in, going back to ZBrush. I'm going to use outline theme, and I'm going to go to these modifiers on the material, and I'm going to crank up which depth A, where are you? Depth A, and I'm going to get something like this. And if you play around with cavity detection, where are you, cavity detection, you can get some different designs, some different looking masks. And under depth you can get more, less. Just play around, and you can export multiple selections like this and like this and like this, and it will come in handy in Photoshop afterwards. So I'm going to just export one of them. Shift Control E on the keyboard to merge them together, and voila. Now I'm going to double click on the background layer and rename it on diffuse, turn off this and this and this, and now I'm going to use some basic color to create some basic shape on the back, and I'm going to go up to filter and render clouds. Now this is rendered and this is seamless from the beginning, so this is really helpful. Now turn the light layer on and put it on overlay or multiply. Yeah, multiply is better. Now you can see, we can see the texture and we have some color applied to it. And now we're going to go to this masks, and under channels, control click on the RGB and Control Shift I to invert the selection, going back to layers, turn this off, and we can see we have something selected, and we're going to create a new layer under layer, new fill layer, solid color, and click on OK, and you can see we can quickly get some color to the valleys of the created subtool. So you can change this color here, you can play around, and you can really get some interesting designs, as you can see. So I'm going to stick to the basics, and the best thing of it is you can always go back and change the color. Just double click on this layer and you can change it, and this is the beauty of Photoshop. You could poly paint it in the ZBrush, but you wouldn't have this really quick ability to change something. So now we are going to use this one. On the channels, control click on RGB, Control Shift I to invert the selection, going back to layers, and we are going to create a new layer, new fill layer, solid color, okay. Let me see where this is. Okay, let's just create something more, something like this. This really looks great when we chipped away with the trim dynamic, and now we can easily get these edges to be shown. Really nice. So then the last one, but this one is going to be without Control Shift I. We're going to just leave it like this, the selection, and layer, new fill layer, solid color. Okay, and now we can see it really gets messy, but we're going to change this. So first of all, I'm going to turn off these two layers and just play around with this one, and you can just scroll down with the wheel with the mouse wheel button to change this, and you can see you can really quickly get some different looks. And this is the beauty of Photoshop. So I'm going to, let's use this, and for this one, well, this was not really a good choice, but you get the picture, hopefully. And you can always turn it down if it's too loud, like opacity here, and you can still get some color to it. And now we can go back to here and create a new layer, and we can change the front color to something more colorful, and we're going to use leave the back in the white, and I'm going to render again clouds. And now I'm going to go to, you can overlay, I'm just going to scroll down and just see which one really looks something like what I'm looking for. Let's say soft light works, and you can play around with additional colors, and the best part of it is these additional layers are all seamless. Let's see what happens here. Soft light, yeah, well, this is really really just to show you what you can do. The end result doesn't really look great, but you can see the potential in it. So now we're going to go to the top of the layer, the top layer that is turned on, and press Ctrl Shift Alt and E on the keyboard to merge everything visible in one layer. And now we are going to fix seamless issue, which can be filter, other, offset, and we will offset it by 512 and 512 because the canvas is 1024 by 1024, and we can see here we get this line really visible and this line is quite visible. So we're going to use spot healing brush and just make a little brush selection, click and hold shift and drag down, and make sure you have convert turned on, and you can play around with it. Then, as you can see, as I was talking before about this about this seamless problems, you can fix them now with this healing brush. You can resize it a little bit, maybe, so it's not really obvious that this is a seam. So, but be careful, because you also have a normal map, and you shouldn't get too crazy with this brush, because it's going to mess up the normal map view. So I'm just going to press Ctrl F on the keyboard to switch between. Well, it's not perfect, but you get a picture. You can clean up these seams with this tool. And the same with the normal map. Hold Shift to make a straight line. Shift and make a straight line, and maybe maybe resize it a little bit. And sometimes it's really nice if you have shaky hands like me, because sometimes really straight lines are not working as they should, or are not doing the job that you want to have done. Well, okay, then just export them. Well, save it as for web by holding Control Shift Alt and S, and you can save it out, and then apply it to the model in your 3ds Max plane, for example, or some other objects, and you will get a nice looking texture like I have here. Something like this. And this is basically everything has been done the same way, just took a little more time, and you get the picture. Just the main thing is, when you are and at the edges, you have to turn on symmetry to make seams as less visible as possible at the end, and then just play around with the masks. The masks are really the answer for these really nice looking poly painted textures. Okay, this was it for this tutorial. I hope you learned something new. Check out the rest of my videos, subscribe to my channel, and till next time, bye.